Hello, my friends. Welcome to our weekly live in Mom XVA. I'm so excited for this conversation today because it's so relevant and so applicable to literally all of us in this community. If you're here, I would say 99% chance that you are also a mom. And so what we are talking about today is how to blend motherhood plus being a virtual assistant, a couple tips there, and just really some reflections on why it's the perfect match. If you are a mom, maybe you're home with your kids, maybe you work a 9 to 5 and you really want to be home with your kids. Either way, what I'm going to share is exactly why I love this industry so much, why I'm so obsessed with it for moms who really want to have it all in life, in motherhood, even in womanhood. As a woman, regardless of kids, we want to have a yes life. We want to be able to do the things that we want to do. We want to take the trips and buy the bag, or in my case, buy a horse. We want that life and we deserve to have that life. And I truly think that it's such a fun day and age because the opportunities that are available to us now in womanhood and motherhood and in life, our moms didn't even have that ability to build this amazing business from home using the internet to market themselves for free online. Like, are you kidding me? The opportunities that we have. And yes, of course, there's downsides to technology and social media. But the fact that we have these opportunities at our fingertips and that we can literally create our dreams from home while not missing any seconds of motherhood. We don't have to miss the first words, the first steps, the first bumped knees when they fall down. I'm just obsessed with the VA industry for that reason. So a little bit about me. If you are new here, first, welcome to Mom XVA. This is the community for moms who are redefining what's possible in motherhood. Just like I said, we don't want to miss a second of anything. We want to have the yes life. We want to have it all. We deserve to have it all, and we can have it all. And I found the VA industry when I was 5.5 years into stay-at-home motherhood. I initially, after my first baby, I went back to work. I made it 3 months. I cried every day and was like, I didn't become a mom to see my baby for, a half hour in the morning and then 45 minutes at night before she went to bed. I want to be there for it all. And I had, before becoming a mom, I don't know if you guys found this too, I had placed so much emphasis on my career. And, part of it was my family, drilling in, be independent. You can be anything that you want to be. And so I was like, okay, noted, mission accepted, mission accomplished. I'm going to go have this amazing career and climb the ladder. And I just remember as I had, raises and promotions and I had a director title and it all just honestly felt hollow. I was like, why am I not more happy with this? I feel like I should be. It was everything I thought I wanted. And this was even before kids. I remember I worked at a university and I was the director of donor relations there. And I would just look out the window and the students and just be like, oh, I don't want to be in the office. I want to be out there. It just, even it was the job that you thought you always wanted. It was I don't want to be here. But I don't know. I didn't know at the time, the alternatives. And I will also say, and I don't know if you guys found this too, put it in the chat. I found that motherhood was the biggest impetus to having the guts to do something of my own. Before motherhood, I thought about starting my own business. My mom's entrepreneurial, but I guess I just didn't have the push and I didn't know what I could do or what I wanted to do. And truly it wasn't until motherhood when suddenly it wasn't about me. I had this burning, compelling reason of why to have something from home and still, be there for my life. And I really don't think I would have had the guts to do any of this until I became a mom. And so, it's so easy to, and put it in the chat if you felt this way. Sometimes we think about man, before kids, I would have had so much time. Imagine if I was building this business before kids and I had hours of uninterrupted time to do this. But then I just go back to, I would never have had the guts to do this if I wasn't a mom. What a beautiful gift of motherhood of just nothing else matters. We have the biggest reason why to create our dream lives. And I've always felt too, I don't know if you guys have felt this, put it in the chat of once you see what's possible, you can't not do it. I always felt that way. And that was a big reason why I started my business. I would see women online like earning in a month what I earned in my first career salary out of college. And it just like broke my brain. But I was also like, I want that. I want that. So let's figure out how to make it happen. And I did. And it's wild. And that's why I'm here today, like just obsessed with the VA industry. Because I found it 5.5 years in a stay-at-home motherhood, and come to find out, I'd done all the work from home things, which I'm guessing a lot of you probably have too. And it just felt like this slog, and, you weren't really paid for the time you put in, or, you were paid for the time that you put in, but it wasn't a high rate. And, so it was like, I just started thinking like, oh, there's another way, like leverage, scalability. And that's one of the things I think that my take on being a VA is different than a lot of the industries, because I love leverage and I love scalability and I love not having to trade your hours for dollars. And there's so many fun ways to do that even as a VA. So I just want to let you know too, like your income is not capped as a VA. There's tons of fun ways to scale, and you can be earning 5 figures a month, multi 5 figures a month. And I've helped students do that too, VA students. So it's so fun. Like anything is possible. So yeah, found the VA industry and couldn't unsee it and was like, oh, let's go. Let's go, baby. This is what I've been looking for. I booked out my business really quickly. I booked a 2K a month client in 3 days of like finding the VA industry, and just was off to the races from there. And now my favorite thing ever is to help other moms become virtual assistants as well. And or if you're already a VA, is like, okay, let's go. Let's scale without you having to work more. It's so fun. So let's talk a little bit about like why is the VA industry so amazing for moms? One is you get to work around your life, not the other way around. So, just like I shared, like even before kids, being in this 9-to-5 office and just like staring longingly out the window, like, I wish I was out there. I don't want to be in here, even though I thought it was everything that I wanted. What's so cool about being a VA is that you get to set your hours. You have like working hours, and you get to define these with your clients ahead of time. And so you could say like, yeah, I work, every day from 12 to 2 during my kiddos' nap time, or it's entirely flexible. And I think that's one of the cool things too is, for the most part, and obviously it's dependent on the clients that you're working with. They might have preferences as well of when you work. And, like if you're doing customer support, client support too, it likely will be during business hours. But I found in working with all of my clients and supporting hundreds of VA students, and also running my own VA agency, that the clients, like by and large, they're not like, you have to be, behind your computer from like 8 to 5. These are the things that need to get done. These are when they need to get done. And as long as they're done, that's absolutely amazing. So it's much more deadline based, or if it's, a recurring thing that maybe you do every day, they're just like, as long as it's done, I don't really care when you do it. As long as it's done and it's done well, and, there's communication and all of that. And just an example too, to give you one of the roles that I first booked, it was for a community manager for a large entrepreneur. And she had like 8 or 9 Facebook groups. One was her, big public group, kind of like this. She had, thousands and thousands of people in it. And then she also had Facebook groups for programs that she ran. And, some of them were active, and some of them, she'd run the program a year prior, but they still had the community. And so my job, she was like, as long as you go in there 2 to 3 times a day and just approve new members, welcome them in the welcome post, and, like if they post, comment on their posts, and also be available for FAQs, like if they ask a question. And she had like a whole guide with, the types of questions they typically get, so I knew how to answer them. And it was such a perfect role inside of motherhood, where, I could do it around kids. It wasn't that I had to, at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 8 p.m. every day, I had to be on there. It was just like, yeah, as long as you do it 2 to 3 times a day, that's amazing. And I remember another example of this too, a different VA role. I worked for a VA agency as the HR team lead, and like helped with recruiting and stuff. And I just remember it was in the morning, like my kids were in the living room. I think just like eating breakfast, watching cartoons. I think my oldest was in kindergarten at the time. And so I was like, oh, I have, a couple minutes. I'm just going to try and get some tasks done really quick. Everything's peaceful and the kids are good. And I worked for 13 minutes and I was just blown away by how much I got done. And that kind of goes into the next thing too, of just not underestimating your skills and the things that you do in motherhood and how they serve your VA clients. This is huge. And I think it's so easy. And this isn't even just for motherhood and the things you do in motherhood, but in life too, the things that come so easy to you, it's easy to discount them and be like, oh, but no one would pay for that. Or like, that's not like, I can do that in my sleep. So I don't even think it's like a superpower of mine. But all of those things VA clients are looking for. I mean, think about the fact that for your family as a mom alone, you manage your family's calendar, you coordinate all the activities and like the timing of everything. You're like, it's kind of a funny example, actually. I'm laughing because this is how I help VAs to translate, if you're a teacher or a nurse, your students or your patients, you can think of them as project management because you're managing the communication, the timelines, the deliverables, all of that. But you can also think, I've never thought about this in motherhood. This is actually funny. You can, you can think about your children as project management too. I don't know why that's such a funny thing. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that's funny, but it's true though, because with each child, you manage a unique set of circumstances. Okay, now I have the giggles. You can think of your children as, you're managing their care, you're managing their calendar. Wow, guys. Oh, does anyone else have the giggles right now? So yeah, you're managing their care, you're managing their calendar, you're managing their needs, you're communicating with their teachers. All of that is project management. And so you could, like, that is absolutely a service that you can offer. And the other thing, as a mom, you're really good at communication. And so you can, offer like client experience or community management as a service as well. And then administrative support is a no-brainer service that you can offer as a mom if you think about like all the things you do to run your household, even like managing meal planning and groceries and the budget, all of that. Like, these are all services that you can offer as a mom. This is discounting any professional experience that you have. So like, just by the sheer fact alone, I still kind of have the giggles too. It's Friday, we're good. By the sheer fact alone, discounting all your professional experience, like already you have like gold virtual assistant services that you can offer. But then you add in your professional experience too, even if it's been years, and suddenly you're like, oh, okay. And while I'm talking, if you're feeling imposter syndrome, which by the way is so normal, everyone feels it, but if you're like, but I haven't been a VA, I can't offer services, I don't know what to do, I want you to go listen to some of the trainings I've done in here recently too, because I talk a lot about this, of just really stepping into your like business owner identity and CEO mindset, and just the fact that you're an expert from day one based on your experience. It's all a mindset. It's a mindset game, business, life, all the things. And so if you felt like a twinge of like, ugh, when I was just saying that, go listen to some of the trainings. I got you. But so basically just knowing, like going back to, you are a superpower because or superwoman because you're a mom, and you can use your mom experience as VA services. Done and done. And just a fun example of this too, you guys, is, so I run a virtual assistant agency as well. And I've over, the past couple of years, I've helped dozens and dozens of entrepreneurs, get paired with the VA students that I train in the VA Leadership Academy. And I've legit, like, I kid you not, I have had clients say, the reason I went through you is because I love hiring moms because they get shit done. They are so efficient with their time. And I'm like, yeah, like I can feel that. I don't know if you feel that too, like a mom, like you don't have time to mess around. You're like, oh, gotta pick up the kids in 10 minutes. And so I've got 10 minutes to do this. And like, you are just a ninja, and clients love that about you. And I think that's so cool too. And I've seen this, in my own journey, and sharing this with my students too, is, sometimes we think that being a mom limits us as far as what we can do in the time that we have, and that maybe clients won't want to hire us because we are managing a household and children simultaneously. But what I found through my own experience is that the more you own it and are just unapologetic about the fact that you're a mom and you're doing this in the midst of motherhood and it's like the greatest gift ever, and also your love of being a VA because of that, because it gives you the ability to be home with your kids, like your clients are going to feel that and they're going to want that for you as well. And I will say just a little tidbit of advice is, on discovery calls, your first impression, I would make sure that you're in a quiet place and it's kid-free and no distractions and have like a clean background behind you and, dress professionally, all of that. But I always on discovery calls would let my clients know, like, yeah, I'm a mom. Like, I'm doing this. My youngest, when I started my VA business, was 1 year old and like just turned 1. And she was on my lap for that first year. And so I let them know, like, yeah, like my kids are home with me. I love being a VA because of that. And I just want to give you, a heads up that I am taking care of my kids alongside of this. And it's why I love it so much. And I'm so, grateful for the opportunity to be able to be a VA. And they're like, okay, awesome. And that's the same too. We're kind of going on a tangent, but I think this all ties into motherhood. I've had people ask, like, if you're a VA, can you take vacation? And the answer is yes, of course. You just communicate that ahead of time with your client. And like when I started my business, I had booked 4 clients really quickly. And I had a family vacation, a 7-day trip. Actually, it was 8 days for my mom's 70th birthday. And it was like 5 weeks after I started with my clients. And I was like, oh, like this is gonna be interesting. But it's my mom's trip. Like I'm not gonna not go on it. And so I just communicated that up front, and every single one of them was like, okay, no problem. Yeah, like cool, go on your trip and can't wait when you're back and, dive back in. So it was just not a big deal. And then Mel, if you're in the VA Leadership Academy, you know and love Mel. She was a teacher. She booked out her business in 7 weeks and then was able to turn in her teaching notice. And she was pregnant with her 3rd baby. She was 3 weeks away from her due date. And when her clients hired her, she booked 3 clients in the same week. Every single one of them was like, awesome. Like, we're so happy you're on the team. Go have your baby. And then, ease back in when it feels good. And, they set kind of a rough timeline there. And it just wasn't a big deal. And so I want you to know that too, like, as a mom, if you're like, oh my gosh, can I balance this all? Like, are my clients going to be understanding and supportive? The answer is yes and yes and yes. And it's all, communication, just communicating with them there. And then the thing to remember too, you guys, is that your clients, the reason that they started their own business likely is the same reason that you did or you want to. You want to have time freedom. You want to have flexibility. You want to be there with your children. And you're going to find that your clients, your VA clients, have the same reasons, and they've got, family things and kid things going on too. And so just know it's such a mom-friendly industry. And then the other really fun thing, and I mentioned this at the beginning too, is the scalability. So I would say, starting VAs earn $20 to $35 an hour. It kind of depends, where you fall in that experience. Once you have experience, you guys, I'm not kidding. The sky is the limit with what you can do. You can specialize, you can raise your rates. You can also create service-based packages so you don't price on time. You can build out a VA agency. I do recommend, like, if you're building an agency, work as a VA yourself first so you know the work, you know what it's like to work with clients, how to manage clients. But there's so many things you can do to, you start out at $2K a month or $1K a month, whatever it is, you're working with clients, but know that as you gain experience, like, you can be earning 5 and multi-5 figures inside of the VA industry. And likely it's, when you're scaling, it's not just you probably have a team under you too, which is so fun. Like, hello, boss mom. And so I think that's such a fun part about being a VA from home too, is just that you're not capped on what you can earn. And if your brain, like, I don't know, I just love thinking in terms of leverage and scalability. And if your brain works like that, like, there's so many opportunities. Another fun one, this is another really fun one, is the services that you offer to your VA clients, you can also create passive digital products teaching your client avatar how to do that themselves. And then you can put a call to action in the back. Hey, you just learned how to do X, Y, and Z, but if you want me to do it for you, click here to book a call, or, buy this package, right? So there's so many fun things you can do to increase your income as a VA without having to work more. And I just love that. So if you're a mom and you're like, okay, I think I can do this, or I want to do this, or I'm doing this, then couple tips to get started. These are like really simple, really high level, but like literally you can go do these today. Number one, pick 3 to 5 services. And if you're not sure what services, just go back and listen to this training, because I literally gave you, I think, 4 that you can offer as a mom based on your mom experience alone. So pick your services, think about the impact that these will have in your clients' lives. And here, again, go back to past trainings, because I talk about this all the time. You're selling the transformation, not the task. So if you decide, I love social media, it's so fun, I've done this in direct sales. Also, do you like the fact that I'm like holding a Gabby cat right now? Talk about motherhood. So instead of saying I do social media for you, you're speaking to like a potential client, you would say like, I write content that's so good that you wake up to multiple DMs in your inbox from people who saw your content and want to work with you. Like, can you see and feel the difference where they're like, oh yeah, cool, social media. But then when they can understand what it does for them and the outcome, they're like, okay, I need you now. Like, gimme, right? Okay, so that's number one. Pick your services and think about the transformation in your clients' businesses. And then number 2 is simply let people know what you're up to. You can reach out and network with people you know who own businesses or are connected to business owners. You can put it out on social media. You can start applying to VA roles, like all the things. Basically, people can't hire you if they don't know you have a VA business and if they don't know you exist. And so get visible. It doesn't have to be perfect. In last week's live, my mantra for life is just F around and find out. And I encourage you to do that too. Like, think of it as a playground or an experiment, and you're just playing with different ways and testing to see what feels good, to see what people respond to. Once you have data on like, wow, I did this and I got a call, like I got a discovery call from it, like this works, so I'm going to do more of that. The things that don't work, you stop doing. Like, it's really just experimentation and play and testing. And I feel like that mindset too takes the pressure off of everything having to be perfect. You have to get it right the first time. No one gets it right the first time. Like, I can't tell you, even before I found the VA industry, how many things I tried, because I decided to start my own business in the summer of 2022. And it took me 6 months to find the VA industry. And in that time, I invested thousands and thousands of dollars into mentorship and like launched multiple different things that didn't really stick. And, at the time it's like, oh man, it feels like it's not working. But then when I found something that was like, this is it, like, this is what I've been looking for. Everything that I tried up to that point compounded. And it was like, I just intuitively knew exactly what to do. So know that nothing's for naught. Is that the right way to say that? Like, everything that you have done up to this point, it serves you, and it's all compounding. And it's like, when you find that thing that feels alive in your body and is like this full just yes, you're like, oh, let's go, baby. Like, I've been training my whole life for this. So I hope that this serves you. I hope that this makes you so fired up about being a virtual assistant, about booking out your business wherever you're at in your VA journey. And if you are wanting support, if you don't want to trial and error your way to 5K months as a VA, we have helped, or I have helped, and my team, we have helped hundreds of students do that in my VA Leadership Academy. And this is really the step-by-step proven path to booking out your business, booking dream clients, and having the confidence, knowing exactly what to say, what to do. You get all the scripts, the templates, the swipe files, your contract, all of that. So there's no guesswork. And, it's like, you can totally go be a VA, like Google, figure it out, amazing. And that's awesome. And if you want support, that's also awesome. And that's exactly what the VA Leadership Academy is for. And I love it. One of the things, and even, in here, like, just my mission in life is community and family, and just bringing people together, instilling belief in people. And honestly, that's one of my favorite things about the Academy too, because like, The women in there are amazing. Now I'm going to start gushing. And it really is like this lifelong family, because once you're in the academy, you're in there for life. You also have lifetime access to my VA agency roster, so I get to pair you with my clients. But I just think it's so cool. And I've experienced this too, you know, getting in the rooms and meeting your best friends there, because you're like, whoa, it's like people who think like me, like I'm not this weirdo, like, you know, thinking about business or like wild goals or whatever. So you meet people who normalize your goals, your dreams, like how you think, how you move. I just saw Maddie hop on, by the way. Like Maddie is a perfect example. She's in the academy. Like Maddie has the best energy and she's just like, yeah, let's go. And then like everyone in there is like that. It's so fun. Like we just feed off of each other's energy. And so, you know, if you are looking for a lifelong family and you just want somewhere that normalizes the fact that you're a mom boss and you've got big goals and dreams and you're not waiting around to do it, like you're making it happen. I just, you know, there's no better thing to do than to put yourself in a room where that's happening. So if you want support booking out your VA business, just drop Academy below or send me a DM. We can chat, figure out if it's a good fit. But I hope that you got so much out of this live and are just so fired up and excited for what's possible as a VA inside of motherhood. And I will see you for next week's live. Okay, so much love. Happy Friday, everybody.